Hello everyone, Alicia here with another lightened up Weight Watcher friendly recipe. And today's is from one of my sweet viewers. She sent me a recipe for lemon mousse and I'm gonna be lightening it, changing it just very slightly. Anyway, this she sent to me a while ago, but I've been holding on to it till we got to more warmer weather because I think this is definitely a more warmer weather, even summer dessert. But it looks really easy. It sounds really good. I love anything lemon. So I'm excited to try this out. So I thought I would show you guys how it turns out. Let me jump in real quick with the ingredients that you're gonna need to make this. First off, you're gonna need 3 lemons and you're gonna be juicing those using the juice of all 3 of those. Next up, this is one of my changes. I'm gonna be adding a packet of this Knox gelatin to mine. And hopefully that's gonna help with making this thick enough. That was my concern when I looked at this recipe, is that it's not gonna be thick enough with the type of evaporated milk that I'm gonna be using. Next up, you're gonna need some sweetener. I'm using this Lakanto powdered Monkfruit Sweetener. You're gonna need a 1/2 cup of that. The recipe does say a 1/2 cup to a cup, but I'm gonna just use a 1/2 cup and that should be good enough, because with these sweeteners, I find they tend to be sweeter than regular sugar, so you don't need as much, even though it says it's a 1-to-1 sugar replacement. I find for me personally, that's not the case. So gonna be sticking to a 1/2 cup with that. Here I've got some Carnation evaporated fat-free milk. This is a change. Her recipe uses regular, so this is gonna cut off some points. Same with the Lakanto as well. And then finally, I've got 4 sheets of graham crackers. I'm using cinnamon sugar ones. You could use whatever type of flavor you want. This is what I have on hand, so this is what I'm gonna be using. And that is it, very simple, very few ingredients. Let me get us started. Back to the Carnation, I forgot to say. The recipe says to leave this in your fridge at least overnight, but as much as up to a week. I've had this in my fridge for a good probably 2 weeks now. I don't know how much of a difference that makes. I also then put it in the freezer just to get it even more cold for about a 1/2 hour. So you want your milk very cold is the point. All right, now let's get this started. So I'm gonna start this off with getting my lemons juiced, and these are nice and washed. So I'm gonna cut them in half and I'm gonna juice them, and I'm gonna juice them into this measuring cup here so I can let you know exactly how much juice I'm actually using. So I'll get these all juiced and then I will be back. Okay, I've got those juiced, and not that you can tell from here, but it's just at a 1/2 cup. Next up, I'm gonna take my graham crackers. I'll put them in this Ziploc bag here. And I'm going to just take my rolling pin and break these up into crumbs. Like that. I'm gonna put them back in my dish here and set those aside. Next up, I'm gonna take my mixer here, and my bowl I've had in the freezer for the last 1/2 hour just to get that nice and cold too, because the key is you want all this to be very cold when you're whipping up that evaporated milk so that it actually does whip up. So now I'm gonna add in my evaporated milk, my 1/2 cup Lakanto, and my packet of Knox gelatin. And again, this gelatin, I'm adding this in because I'm hoping this is gonna help with the consistency of this, because there is no fat in that milk, which does help when it comes to giving it that fluffy texture. So anyway, now I'm gonna just whip this until it starts to thicken a little bit. So I whipped this at a high speed, almost max. I was on 8 on my KitchenAid here, and I whipped it for 5 minutes, pretty much exactly on that. And this is looking, I mean, pretty good. It's thickened up nicely. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slowly pour in my lemon juice and continue to mix this until that's fully incorporated. Okay, I've got that mixed in, so now I'm gonna take an 8x8-inch casserole dish and I'm gonna sprinkle roughly half of my graham crackers on the bottom of it. And now I'm gonna pour my mousse in. I'm gonna smooth that out in there. And then take my remaining graham crackers and sprinkle those on top. I'm gonna cover this with some plastic wrap. And I'm gonna put this in my freezer for at least 2 hours to give it a chance to firm up. But at that point, I will be back. All right, I let this sit in the freezer for just over 2 hours. I think it's looking like it's firmed up nicely. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut out a serving, show you guys what it looks like and give you points. And I'm gonna go ahead and taste it too. So I will be back once we got a serving out. Okay, I've got a piece of this cut out. Show you what it looks like, a little closer up. I went ahead and garnished mine with a little slice of lemon, just to make it look pretty. But I'm gonna go ahead and, first, this is 3 points for a 1/6 of the total, but I'm gonna give it a little test here. And I think I probably should have left this in a little bit longer than the 2 hours. Some of it's firmed up, some of it is not so firm. I don't know if you can tell that, but anyway, give it a little taste, see what I think. So, first off, the lemon is hitting me, which I like because I love lemon. I will say though that even though I originally said I didn't think it would need more than the 1/2 cup of the sweetener, I think it could use a little bit more sweetness, honestly. Let me try it again. The texture is great. I love the fluffy mousse texture of this, and the graham crackers pair really well with it as well. Maybe just a titch sweeter. So maybe like 3/4 of a cup, maybe not even that much. But yeah, probably 3/4 of a cup, I would say. Use just a little bit more sweetness. And again, that was my fault because I assumed that Lakanto would be sweet enough for this, but yeah, maybe just a little bit more. But it has a really good flavor. I really love, again, the texture of the mousse. And I have to have another bite. Love the graham crackers with that. Pairs it really, really well. I was gonna say the graham crackers are what carry the most points in this. So as I was making it, I was like, I wonder if you get away without adding those. Because the evaporated milk is 8 points for that can. And I think it's 11 points for the graham crackers. But they definitely add a lot. So I would still include those for sure because they pair very nicely with that. But yeah, really good. And again, I think this would be a great treat for summer on a nice hot summer day. This nice cool lemon mousse, but very good. I will be making this again for sure. But like I said, next time I think I'm gonna add a little bit more of the sweetener to that. And I will have that down in the recipe or the description where I write the recipe out, and my WW recipe builder. I'm gonna put it at 3/4 cup because I do think that will make this even better. But anyway, thank you so much to Debbie for sending me this recipe to lighten up. Definitely a good one and one I will be making again. And thank you guys for watching. I will see you on the next one.